Let's investigate this cyber incident, the Disgruntled room on TryHackMe. It's a Linux forensics lab. You'll see I already started the machine. We can do so by clicking Start Machine in the introduction. Will take a moment to boot up. So let's click Check. Then they have a quick review of Linux commands. If you want to get better at Linux, you can also check the link below the video. The practicelinux.com has many Linux labs to improve your Linux skills. So let's move on. We don't need to look at this actual cheat sheet. So we have a user that installed a package on the Linux machine using elevated privileges. According to the logs, what is the full command? Logs in Linux are stored in the folder /var/log. You can move into that cd/var/log. So we move into that folder, the var log folder. You'll see we are in /var/log. And if we list the files in here, you'll find many different log files. So we have r.log and btmp, dmessage, dpkg.log, many different log files. So they're simply text files that programs and Linux itself writes, and you can use them to investigate cyber incidents. So in this case, they ask us about this elevated privileges. So whenever someone runs a command as a root user, as administrator, you will find that in the files out.log and possibly other out.log files. So we have here out.log and out.log1. You might wonder what is this .1. Sometimes you have .2, .3, and so on. So that's log rotation system. So for every day or every period, it's going to make different log files. So we can look in these files, this out.log file. So we can simply say list those. And that lists both of them. So we have one log file that is very, very small. You'll see here 622 bytes, this out.log, and one that is very large, this 46833 and so on, out.log1. So let's take a look in this bigger file. So we can simply grep inside it. You can say grep su for super user and then search in this log file, see what pops up. And you'll see lots of different commands popped up. And let's find out what system this is. So we can say cat etc/os release. And we see that this is Ubuntu Linux. On Ubuntu, they use a package manager called apt. So we can search for apt inside this as well. So we simply filter this entire log file and then with grep we select and we search for apt, which is the install command on Ubuntu Linux. So you'll see we have two commands here. We have apt install docuwiki and another apt install docuwiki. So given that that's the only two options, let's fill in. So we have user bin apt install docuwiki. And you'll see that is correct. Now they ask us what is the directory, the working directory, where that command was run. So the pwd here, the working directory, the present working directory, that's why the P there. So we see here the install command, and the pwd directory is the home cybert. So we can type that in. So /home/cybert, there we go. So let's continue this Linux investigation. You'll see that there's a user was created after the package. So user creation on Linux, there's a command called add user and also user add. So two different commands to add users. We can simply search these log files to see if we find any of those. So we search for add user in all of the files. See what comes up. So we have here the command add user, and they add the user it-admin. And it seems that they did that from the user or from the folder home cybert. So probably it happened by that user. Let's see if that works. We have it-admin. So a user was later given sudo privileges. Sudo is when you can run commands as administrator, as the root user. So they ask us when was the sudoers file updated. The sudoers files, it lives in etc, and then you have this file sudoers. So we can list it, And we find here that it has been updated around December 28th, but it doesn't give us the time if we list it like this. So, and they also say something about a script file was opened using VI. What is the name of this file? So let's actually take a look in this home cyber folder. See, it doesn't look like there's anything here, but if we list the hidden files and folders, we find the .bash_history file. So this is a file that stores all of the commands that has been run by that user, in this case, Mr. Cybert. We can investigate that file. We simply output it using the cut command. We list all of the historic commands. So a lot of stuff has been going on. We see that he installed this DocuWiki. And then he's been doing all kind of stuff here. It added this user IT admin. And then we see he became IT admin using the su command. Later he changed the password of the root user. So we don't see anything of this vi command here. Let's take a the filter. So we don't see it there. But we can take a look in the other users as well. So let's say IT admin. Let's see, search for vi. And we see this guy. He tried to open, or he opened bomb.sh. So let's put that in. Okay, so let's investigate a little bit more. We can search for the command vsudo, so execute as sudo, in all of the logs. Then we find the vsudo command has been run twice, once by the user root, and another time by the user root, but from different directories, so from home Ubuntu and home Cybert. Let's try this home Cybert one. Let's see if we can paste that in here. There we go. So a file was created, the bomb.sh. So huge red flag, obviously. And they want us to know where is it planted. So what command used that created this bomb.sh file? What we can do is simply investigate the history of every user, try to find it. So we can say home. When we go into the cyber folder, he has this bash history file. You'll see he did a lot of stuff. And if we filter on bomb, it doesn't return anything. So let's move to the next user. We have the user IT admin. So let's do the same thing. We search his bash history and look for bomb.sh. And there we find the command. So they say what command is used that created the file bomb.sh. So they downloaded the file with curl. We'll see it downloaded from this website, bomb.sh. And they used this command. Next, they say this file was renamed and moved to a different directory. What is the full path of this file? Let's take a look at the full bash history. And you'll see it downloaded this file, edited in VI, and then it edited the cron talk. So we could take a look at the vim info file. It's a file that Vim makes in the background, and we find here bin/os updates. We could take a look inside it. And you'll see this seems to be malicious. So probably they want this file. Make sure there's no space in front. There we go. Then they ask us, when was the file from the previous questions last modified? Well, seems they want also specifically a timestamp. And secondly, what is the name of the file that will get created when the file from the first question executes? So it looks like they create this goodbye.txt. Probably we don't need that slash in front, but let's see. Let's try without a slash. There we go. And finally, we have this question left about when was this file last modified? So we could simply take a look at this file in the bin OS updates. So we see December 28, but no timestamp. Let's take a look in the logs. Maybe they are saying something about it. So we grab for OS updates.sh in all of the log files. And it's do it recursively. So nothing there. So let's go back to this user, the home IT. Okay, we're having an issue with the machine here. Let's go to the home IT admin. Then look at the batch history. Let's take a look again at the Vim info. Maybe it has timestamps. So we see this OS update here, but they seem to be Unix timestamps here. You could try to convert this Unix timestamp to regular time. So if you copy this Unix timestamp and you go to this website of the epoch converter, you can paste it in and you can find the timestamp December 28th on 6:29, which is the correct answer. So in this case, we found it in the Vim info, this Unix timestamp. Let's go on. So they say, so we have a file and a motive. The question, how will this file be executed? Surely he wants to execute it at some point. And then at what time will the malicious file trigger? So we have this OS update in the bin file. And at some point, this must be executed. Could be there's a cron job. So we can say cron job -e. And I'm going to use Vim because I'm used to it. Let's take a look in the DTC folder. We can search for this OS update. And we find here cron top, OS update. You'll see here 08 and don't see any timestamp. So this is in one of the cron top files, automatic scheduling. Let's see if that's just a cron top file. There we go. So it's executed as root, as administrator, this malicious script. And then we have the timestamp. So that is at hour 8 and minute 0. Then we need AM or PM. Probably this is AM. Let's try. There we go. And that concludes this lab, this short investigation on this Linux forensic system lab. If you want to practice Linux more, you can check out the link below, practicelinux.com, and get better at these kind of cyber investigations.